Hey guys, and welcome back to another story time. As you can tell from the title, I'm gonna be telling you guys how I quit my degree after a whole year of study. I think I was actually 2 weeks into the second year of that degree, but then I decided to quit and change into something that I really loved to do. And that decision, that one bad decision, as it seemingly was at that time, led me to finding my husband or my soulmate or my lover, who is currently my husband right now. So if you want to hear the whole story, stay tuned, and we're going to be doing some makeup as we talk about it. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing my makeup as usual so that I just don't sit in front of the camera doing nothing. And of course, it's not makeup that I'm gonna do for an event or anything. I'm just doing it for the sake of the story, so that I'm doing something while I tell the story. So if you remember, if you watched my first story time, I did mention that I was growing up, I lived with my uncle and he was paying my school fees. So when I got to university, you know that thing of when you finish your A-level studies and then you go to apply for a degree for university, they give you so many options. Like you apply for maybe, I think you have 3 options of a degree. I think it was even 6 when I applied. So you apply for degrees, maybe 6 degrees that you feel like you can do, and whatever they give you, you probably just go with it. But then it will probably not be something that you actually want to do, right? So this is what happened to me. I applied for quantity surveying. Quantity surveying was my first option, and then I think the other one was environmental science and something. And then the last one, my last option, was this other degree called Operations, Research and Statistics. It was a maths degree. I literally didn't know what it was about at that point. I just put it because I didn't know there were going to be so many options, you see. But then, that is the degree they gave me. So I was offered that degree at NAST. That was in 2015. I was supposed to start school in 2015, yeah. So I got that degree. Oh, okay, I wanted to go to university. At that point, I knew this is not something that I want to do, but then I just had to go to university. You understand? If you've gone to university, you understand what I'm saying. So I just had to go. So yeah, we prepared. I went to school. I went to my first year. So the degree was literally like maths all the way, mathematics all the way, statistics, calculus, those integration, triple integrals. It's A-level maths. We used to do double integrals. We used to do the dy dx. Now it was dy dx dz. It was triple integrals. It was a whole lot of challenging stuff. So I think mostly because I also had an attitude. I didn't like this degree, but I was just doing it because I wanted to be in university. So I did this degree first semester. First semester I passed almost all the courses, and then I failed one, which was called linear algebra. It was still just mathematics. I failed this course. I was supposed to supplement, not to carry it over. So supplementing is like during the holiday, you come back to school, you rewrite that course before the next semester. So yeah, I came back and I wrote my sub, and I actually had this other friend of mine who had failed it also at that point. We wrote this sub and we passed. We come back for second semester. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. It's fun. I'm enjoying all other things, university stuff. It's fun. But then this degree, I didn't like it. I was just doing it for the sake of doing it. You see, second semester, things became even more challenging. they became more and more challenging. I remember there was this course called calculus. Okay, we did calculus 1 first semester. Second semester we did calculus 2, and we would do this course with other students from other degrees, like the applied mathematics, like the actuarial science, those guys. This calculus showed me that I was not as genius as I thought. Come exams, we write exams, results come. I had 2 carryovers. So now a carryover is worse than a supplement. If you are writing a sup, you just write it over the holiday and then you probably pass it, and you go to second year without any carryover. So now I failed 2 courses, meaning when I get to second year, I was going to be doing 2 extra courses, right? And it was already something that was difficult for me. And I was like, wow, this is some kind of trouble that I got myself into. But I didn't really care. Honestly, I didn't really care. And then this is when I started thinking, no, I don't like this degree that I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing when I finish studying this degree. I just didn't like it. So I didn't have any interest in even learning or researching the industry that I was going to get into. But one thing that I just knew is I don't want to do this degree. I wanted to do quantity surveying. For some reason, my brother told me about quantity surveying. My elder brother, he had his friend who was a quantity surveyor. So he always said good things about the degree, about the job, and all. So it's something that I always wanted to do. So I then decided I need to change this degree. I need to quit. At this point, I need to quit. Remember, I was eligible to go for second year with my carryovers. So it's not like I was supposed to repeat my first year. No, I was supposed to actually go to second year. So I went to school. Before I went to school, I had to sum up the guts to talk to my uncle about this decision that I had made. I had to tell him that I didn't like the degree that I was doing and I wanted to change. And I actually failed. It was so difficult for me. So I wanted to change and do something that I love, So I summed up the guts. I did tell him. And he was supportive. He actually said, you can go ahead and do what you want to do. He was the one paying my school fees, so I had to tell him. And then I told my mom. My mom was also supportive. She was just like, no, it's fine. And I think they also understood because I was failing. So it's actually, I guess they actually felt, no, this degree is too difficult for her. Then I went to school, second year. I went to class, I think for the first week, second week. So all this time I was now going to the offices of the dean, of the department chairperson, and all, trying to change my degree. I think I did this process for like 2 weeks for it to be actually finalized. And I was praying that, God, I need to manage to change this, because sometimes they can refuse to let you go from that degree that you're doing, or where you want to go, they may refuse to take you. You see. So I actually went there and they looked at my records at the quantity surveying department, and I actually told them, no, I actually applied for this degree, but then I didn't get it at that point. But now I want to change because it's something that I want to do. Then the chairperson was asking me, why do you want to change? I'm like, my dad is an architect, so I want to do something close to that industry, construction, Then he was like, oh, it's fine. Then my approval came. I changed my degree. I left that maths degree and I had to start over first year with the part ones that had just come in for quantity surveying. So, part ones are usually not that woke. They're just, they just get into university. They don't really know what happens in university. They just, I don't want to say dumb, but they don't know what's really happening. So when I went to join the part ones, of QS, the QS class that year. I knew what was going on. Like, I was repeating, so I definitely knew what was going on. I definitely knew you don't need to be moving around in groups. You know that thing part ones do, moving around in groups, coming to school with a whole lot of books and a satchel, you know, those things. So now I was a grown up. I was not a part one, literally. So I knew what was going on. I went to class the first day. So when I went to class the first day, I didn't even have any book because I knew, we're just starting, so probably the lecturer won't come, or he will just come to introduce himself, and tell you we're going to be doing this and this and give you the course outline. So I didn't have any book, and I actually remember what I was reading that day. I had this short skirt and the bulky weave, and you could just see that, no, this lady is not fresh from from high school. So now when I went to class the first time, there were these two guys who seemingly looked also like they were a bit woke than the other people. So these guys, they started talking to me, these two guys started talking to me. They were like, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. You know, just making friends as part ones. But later on, the other guy told me, I just saw that you don't look like a part one. You actually seem to know what you are doing, right? So this guy right now is one of the, these two guys right now are married to one of those guys. So this is how the story goes. So we became friends. It was nice. We became friends. We started I started helping them, like telling them the ins and outs of varsity, you know, like someone who's been there, like what to look out for, like how lecturers work and all those things. And I actually started enjoying this degree. I actually liked it. I remember I was actually doing well in this degree. But then when I changed, people thought it was a bad decision. Like my mom's friends, they were telling her that no, this girl's not serious. Imagine the uncle is paying fees for her and then she's wasting time and doing funny stuff. I was also doing makeup by the end. So the other one was like, no, she's concentrating on the wrong things. Why is she doing makeup? She's supposed to be doing school. Anyway, my mom didn't listen to all of that. So I actually started. I was enjoying this degree. And this guy became my friend. Since that day up until the time we got married. So we became friends, you know, just close friends, very close friends. We would study together. We would walk together from school and all those things. But then in all this, there was never a time I would say I love this guy, or I like this guy, or I'm attracted to this guy. Never. I would be lying to you. I saw him like a brother. Literally just a brother. So part one, part two, we actually went to rent at the same house because we were not staying at Ray's. So we actually went to rent at the same house. We became even closer. We would read, study together at night. We would, if I cook, I would give him food because, you know, guys don't like cooking. Yeah. And I knew him like that. Like, I knew him. I knew his girlfriends. I would diss the girlfriends, or I'd say, no, this is a nice girl. She's actually good for you and stuff. And he would do the same. Apparently, he would do the same. He would actually tell me, no, this guy is not good for you. I remember when we were in part two, I was dating this other guy. This other guy didn't like my friend. I think they just didn't like each other. Maybe because I would spend so much time with this friend of mine. So, and this friend was like, no, this guy is not I don't like this guy, you know. He would tell me, like, honestly, that no, this guy doesn't treat you right and stuff. Is a friend, not as someone who likes me or anything. Because he also had his girlfriends that I knew. Some of them didn't like me, some of them liked me, you know, and I didn't really care. Anyway, part 2, yeah, we stayed at the same house, we were friends, we even grew closer. And then after part 2, part 3, we went for attachment. So I don't know how this happened, but there was this guy who was also at NAST. When we were in part 2, he was in part 4. So this guy had worked in Namibia before. Then he told us about Namibia. We were interested. We were like, no, we want to go to Namibia for attachment, you know. So we decided to go to Namibia. I had a sister who was staying in Namibia, so it was quite easy for me to go there because I had accommodation. I had people that I know in Namibia. So I went to Namibia for attachment. And this friend of mine also, this bestie of mine, also went to Namibia, but we were in different towns, like 600 kilometers apart. But we were always in touch because there was MTN. I think MTN had 3 minutes, so we could call each other for long times, long hours, because we didn't have any other people to call, you understand. So yeah, this is it. We grew closer, we talked after work, just telling each other what's going on, where you are, how are you doing, how are you living, you know. So we could relate on so many things a lot because he was renting where he was working in Windhoek, and I also at some point started renting for myself when I was on attachment. So we had so many things to talk about, you see. Okay, fast forward, we finished attachment, we went back to school. That time we were even closer. We were just too close, we were inseparable. So when we went back to school, we got raise, you know, the student accommodation. So we started staying at raise, right? So it meant we would walk together to school, from school, for lectures. We would study together at raise. I would even go to his room. He stayed in a single room. I would even go to his room to study. And I would actually sleep there sometimes. But guys, hear me. Nothing happened between us. When I say nothing, like not even, he was like a bro to me. Like nothing, not a single thought of lust or attraction conceived my mind. And I think the same thing was happening to him. He didn't like me like that. He loved me as a friend, not as a partner, you understand? So yeah, but then people didn't get it at that point. People just thought, these guys, I think these guys are like friends with benefits, you know, that kind of thing that people do in varsity. But then for us, it was nothing like that. Totally, we were just friends. So we were friends like that. So part 4, he had a girlfriend. I'm not sure if that girlfriend really liked me or was really comfortable. Okay, let me say if she was really comfortable with our friendship, but I don't think so, because she would mention it to him sometimes. All right. And also, but I really was cordial with her. We were not enemies. We would actually talk. We would actually do stuff together. And I actually really liked her because she was my bestie's girlfriend. She was like a makwati to me. So I actually liked her. But then most people didn't get our relationship. But we didn't care because, like I said, there was nothing that we were doing wrong. We were not dating. We were not friends with benefits or anything like that. Okay, part 4, we got closer. I would cook and give him. That time he was campaigning for student politics, SRC. So he was so busy. He would spend the day campaigning, and I would cook for him. I actually felt like sorry for him, like my brother, like, oh, this guy is hungry, he's been working the whole day, let me cook for him. Sometimes I would cook for him and his other friends, like from the party, his campaign, the other guys he was campaigning with. And yeah, it was literally just like that. And I remember when I was in part 4, I started I started linking with this other guy. If you know this guy, please don't mention him in the comments, because he's now also a married man. So this guy was, you know, those players, people who are players, like well-known, renowned players. I started messing around with this guy. And my friend was like, why would you, like, of all guys, why would you mess around with this guy? You know he's a player. Everyone knows it. So why are you getting involved with this guy? I was like, no, it's nothing serious, you know. So he cared for me like that. I think he actually saw me like his little sister. So he didn't want bad things to happen to me. But I didn't listen. I just wanted to have fun in varsity. Alright, so we continued like that. We were always together. We would go out to eat together. He would take me for lunch in town. He was just like, are you not hungry? Let's go to town. I'll buy you sadza. There's this place that sold expensive sadza. So he would take me there and we would just talk about anything, because me and we were friends like that. So this is how our friendship grew over the years, like since part 1 up to graduation. So after graduation, he then moved to South Africa. After moving to South Africa, he started working here in South Africa. I was in Zim, I was doing my life. I was now working, and yeah, we kept in touch. We did keep in touch, and yeah, our relationship never, okay, at some point we were not really in touch, because I mean we were too far apart, and I also was now in a serious relationship at this time, and he also was still with his girlfriend from varsity, you understand. So yeah, everyone was doing their life. Of course, we would call each other to catch up here and there, but it wasn't too much of that. So now, he broke up. The girlfriend broke up with him. Okay, they broke up, him and his girlfriend. Remember, he was now in South Africa and the girlfriend was in Zim. So it was a long distance relationship. So they broke up, unfortunately, I guess because of the distance. So this guy became single. He came back to the streets. I felt sorry for him. I knew he loved the girl, so I was like, it happens, you know. You can find someone else in South Africa at least who is close to you, so that there's no distance. All right, so at this point, I was dating this other guy. I think that was 2020. I was dating this other guy. 2020 to 2021. I was dating this other guy. Woo. This guy was linked, you know, linking. I was actually linked to this guy by a friend of mine. This guy was a friend to my friend's husband. You understand? So I started dating this guy. This guy was a quiet guy. You know, there's quiet people who don't like going out, people who don't drink, people who are just, he was just chilled. Yeah, rather too chilled for me. Because the friend now, who is my friend's husband, the friend to this boyfriend of mine, would always say, no, Samantha is too forward, or is too loud, or is too outgoing for this guy, so I doubt it will work. But then for me, I wanted it to work so bad, because I was tired of being single and just not having someone to rely on. because this guy was taking care of me. He would help me to pay rent. He would do stuff for me. He had money, so he could do things for me. He would help me. Remember my grass to grey story? He was actually the guy that I started dating, and then I started moving from the ghetto and stuff. And yeah, he was helping me with the rent. So I started dating this guy. We dated for some time, but we had our differences. Like, we didn't understand each other I'd say quite a lot, because like the friend said that I was too outspoken for him. So, well, when he later broke up with me, he told me that I was rude. Yeah, he basically just said I was rude. To this day, I don't know why was someone there rude. Anyway, I started dating this guy. We tried. I think I did compromise a lot, because he was not my kind of boyfriend. He was not my type. He was just someone who was kind, caring. So I was just like, no. I mean, if you're someone who wants to settle down, you just settle for the person who will take care of you, who is kind. He didn't drink, so I was like, this is the perfect husband for me. You see. So I'm telling you guys the story so that you see how some decisions in your life, they don't make sense at that point when you make that decision. But then if you are always someone who is prayerful, and before you decide, you speak to God about it, so you know your decision at the end ultimately is going to be a good decision. You know you're not doing the wrong decision just because you've prayed about it. So I prayed about this changing my degree thingy, because I really wasn't happy in that first degree, right? So I'm dating this boyfriend of mine. I was literally just compromising, forcing things, because I wanted it to work, you see. So I would tell this friend of mine, I remember this other day I was talking to him over the phone. I told him about this guy. I was like, this guy is nice. He's a nice guy. He's quiet. He doesn't like trouble. He takes care of me, you know. Then my friend was like, but this guy is not, I know you. This guy is not your type of guys. You are just doing it because maybe you're desperate or something, but then this person is not your type, and you will see it eventually. And I was like, no, he's my type. What are you saying? This guy is my type. I like him. We'll make it work. I was so adamant. I wanted it to work, because it's not like I had options. I didn't have options. You know, the dating pool, sometimes you don't even have anyone who wants you. So yeah, that was me at that point. I got him after being linked up. So I had to make it work. Guys didn't want me at that point. I don't know why. Like, they liked me, but they're not in a serious way that someone wants to stay with you, wants to marry you, wants to spend the rest of their lives with you. Because at that point I was looking for marriage. It was, I think, 2 years after graduating, so I thought I'm ready. Anyway, I told my friend, no, I'll make it work, because this guy takes care of me. You have no idea. But then I would complain to him about other things, like, this guy is too quiet. This guy is too quiet. It's just too chilled, you know. I didn't like it. But anyway, I was like, no, this is marriage material. This is the guy who's going to marry me. Anyway, fast forward, we dated for, I think, over a year. We were making it work. We were going for dates. I was being taken out. People were like, I think this girl is like you, because he would take me out. And it was fun then. Of course, I was making compromises, but then it was fun. And I guess he was also making compromises, because imagine later on saying that I was rude. So he stayed with me for over a year, but then said I was rude. You see? So one day this guy, I asked him to help me. So I was working out of town. At that point, I was now working on site. I stayed in Harare. but then I was working on site. So I would travel to site every Monday and then come back for the weekend, come back to my house in Harare for the weekend. That's when I would see this guy. So I had a parcel that I ordered from South Africa. It was actually a ring light. I ordered a ring light for my makeup clients, my makeup thingy. So this ring light had to be collected from the shop where the runner sent it to. So I asked him to collect for me because I was at work, remember, and the shop would be closed on Saturday. So I asked him to collect my parcel for me from this lady. He said no, it's fine, and it was actually very close to his house. All right. So he said he was going to collect. That was Friday. So I didn't follow up. I didn't see the need to keep asking him, did you go and collect or anything like that? Because he said, no, it's fine, I'll do it. So now I ask him in the evening, I think around 7 p.m. I'm like, did you collect that parcel? He said, no, I didn't collect, I was busy. I'm like, you were busy, but you could have told me that you're busy, because now the problem is this person doesn't open on Saturday. So it means I'm going to have to collect next week, and I'll get it next weekend because I'll be going back to work the whole week, right? So I was like, I wasn't happy. I was like, you just should have told me that you can't do it. I was gonna hire that bike delivery guys, those bike delivery guys. I actually had a contact who was doing delivery stuff, so I could have used him. You should have just told me that you can't do it instead of saying you can and then you don't. So I don't know if that was rude, because I just expressed that I wasn't happy about what he did. Now he started saying, I was busy. You wanted me to go and collect your parcel when I had meetings. And definitely my meetings are more important. And I was like, no, definitely your meetings are important, but then you should have just told me. I'm saying, just tell me that you cannot do this. Don't promise me things that you cannot do, because now I have to wait another week and I need to use that light, you see. Then we went back and forth with this ring light issue. we went back and forth until this guy was like, I don't like the way you talk to me, blah blah blah. I don't really remember what he said at that point, but then he was so pissed to an extent that he refused to go. Okay, the next day we had planned a day trip to Chengeta. I think it's Chengeta Safari Lodge. Yeah, we had planned a day trip with other two couples, that friend of mine and the husband, and my other friend and her boyfriend. So we were supposed to go out as 3 couples. Then at that point, she was so pissed. He was like, I'm not going anywhere with you tomorrow. I'm like, what do you mean? We planned this already. We've paid already. And my friends are coming with their bays. I cannot go there alone. Or I cannot miss this thing because I already bought an outfit for this thing. What do you mean? Because of a simple misunderstanding. You want to quit. You want to say you don't want to go. What do you mean? Guy said he's not going. I said he's not going. Until I had to reach out to my friend who linked us up. I was like, please talk to this guy, because he's saying he won't go with us tomorrow. And imagine we've planned our outfits and all. So if he doesn't go, I can't go alone. It means I'll just stay behind and you guys go, like the other 2 couples. And this friend of mine didn't want to leave me because I was the friend to the other couple and I was the friend to the other couple. So I was the one who was joining them together. So now if I didn't go, it meant these 2 couples would be strangers. You understand? My friend talked to him. She's like, she's sorry. Maybe you guys didn't just understand each other, but she's sorry. Please, let's just go. You can sort out your differences when we come back. Blah blah blah. He kept refusing. I was like, no, I'm not going anyway. Until my friend told the husband to talk to him. Okay, at that point I think that's when he said, no, it's fine, I'll just go. But he didn't want to go. So the next day we went for the trip. I think we used, yeah, we were driving in the same car with the other couple. So, yeah, and he was not talking to me. He was just moody, he was just giving me a cold shoulder. He was just talking to his guy, like my friend's husband. I was like, no, it's cool. At least my friend is here. So I was talking to my friend the whole time. We went there, we got there, we did what we were doing. But then this whole time, he was not talking to me. Literally nothing. He said nothing to me. I was like, okay, this guy is pissed. Let me just leave him and enjoy my life with my friends and the other couple, because they were my friends. So that's what happened that day. Until we went back home, he was not talking to me. We came back to Harare. They dropped me at my house, and then they left. I guess they went to drop him at his house also, this other couple. As soon as he gets home, or as soon as he feels he's ready to talk to me, he sends me a long text. He just said, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this relationship. It's not working for me. You are rude. You're rude is one thing that he said. You're rude. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like, you are too opinionated. You are, even your statuses, I don't like the things that you post on your statuses. Guys, I'm just someone who posts anything. Like, if I see a meme and I want to post it, I will post it. I don't care what people say. So I think that's what he meant, that I was opinionated, or I don't know, rude. But I just thought rude was too much. For me, I don't think I'm rude. But anyway, you wouldn't know if you're rude. People will see that you're rude. Right, so let me not defend myself. Upon reading that message, I just started crying. My tears started falling down. I couldn't believe it. I mean, how did you just break up with me like that after a whole 1 year and some months? I mean, I was not happy. I was sad, actually. I told my brother, this guy, he broke up with me. I was sad. It was a sad day for me. Anyway, my sadness didn't last for a while, because after this breakup thingy, I told my friend, this bestie of mine, I told my bestie, that guy, can you believe that guy broke up with me after all the compromises I was telling you? He just dumped me now. He said I am rude. That guy laughed. He's like, I'm sorry, but maybe it's just for the good, because you guys were not really compatible. I'm like, no, it's fine. But I didn't expect this from him. I thought we were good. We could, work on whatever it was that he felt was not really working. So, okay, we laughed about it with my friend. It's like, no, it's fine, it happens, blah blah blah. So now I told my friend that I've been dumped. The next day he calls me. He's like, I think this is the right time for me to talk to you. I've been thinking for all this time, but then I couldn't tell you because you were in a relationship. But I've been thinking that you and I are actually compatible, like to be partners, because we understand each other so much, and blah blah blah. I enjoy your company. We have fun. Like, when we're together, we understand each other so much, and we've grown to know each other so much over the years. So I just couldn't tell you because you're in a relationship, and I'm actually happy that guy dumped you. So now I can express myself in how I feel about you. I actually like you. I'm like, you like me? Why would you like me? I was like, okay, no, give me time to think about it. So, okay, I decided to think about it. But when he told me, like, it wasn't something that felt awkward. I was just like, no, this guy is right. We really do understand each other on a lot of levels. Like, he's someone that I'm free to talk to about anything and to tell him that no, this and this. So I didn't think much into it. Like, the time that I said, let me think about it, I think I knew my decision. I was like, let me just try it. If it fails, it's fine. So I tell my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, that, this guy is saying he likes me. And then she's like, go for it. Go for him. I think it's good for you. Blah, blah, blah. You guys know each other. This is my sister-in-law who was saying this. Then this sister-in-law of mine, we were in the same stream at NAST in university. But at this point, she was now married to my brother. So, yeah. I told my brother, he's like, okay, if you want to go for it, go for it. Then I made the decision. I was like, no, let me try this. There's no time for me to be crying here over this guy. Let me move on. I think the next day, it was 14 August, I actually remember. And I think this guy broke up with me 11 August. 14 August was my husband's birthday, my bestie's birthday. So I was like, my present to you is, I will say yes to your request. We can try it. See if it works. If it doesn't, life goes on. Then he was happy. We started dating. It was kind of weird the first days because, he was my friend. So it was kind of weird. But then I got used to it. And also, the first days it was a long distance relationship because remember, he was in South Africa and I was in Zim. So that was August, September, October 5th. We planned a trip so that I come and see him. Like, we see each other as lovers for the first time. He booked my plane ticket, guys. Remember, this was my first time on a plane, so my relationship at this point was going on well. Things were moving, things were moving swiftly, and things were moving nicely because I had never been on a plane. I had never been to South Africa, actually, to Joburg. The furthest I went was Musina. So this was my first time in Joburg, on a plane to go and see my boyfriend. It was such a dream. It was such a dream. So can you believe that I lied to my mom? I told my mom I was going to South Africa to see my friend Alice. Alice doesn't stay in Joburg. And I came, I never saw Alice. So I came here to see my guy, my friend. It was my first time coming from the airport, seeing South Africa. Yeah, South Africa is nice. Comparing to Zimbabwe, I've never been to so many countries. I have never been out of Africa. Definitely, there are probably countries better than South Africa, but South Africa is nice compared to where I was coming from. It was a nice experience. He booked an Uber for me from the airport. So he had booked for me to stay at Hotel Sky. If you know Sandton, the Nelson Mandela Square, that Sandton Mall, there is a hotel called Hotel Sky, which is just next to the mall. So it's like 100 meters. You just go out and cross the road and you're by the hotel. So he booked for me at Hotel Sky. So I was staying at Hotel Sky the entire time. Imagine coming from Zim and coming straight to a hotel in Sandton. It was the dream, guys. It's the dream. I know for some people it's not because you've always been staying in South Africa and you've always gone to the mall, but it was my first time. I went there, I had some food. It was nice. I started seeing places. He took me to the mall, Sandton City. I took pictures by the Nelson Mandela Square. It was nice. I bought my clothes. I bought some outfits so that I would, slay the next day because I was going for a date the next day. Okay. And we were actually, like, things were actually going well for us. It wasn't awkward. It was actually nice seeing him, you know, it was nice. The next day, he took me for a date, a large date. There's this place in Bryanston where they do lunch in the sky. It was called what? Sky Date, yeah. They just, okay, it's just a station where they set up the lunch and then they lift it up into the sky. Guys, if I tell you I was happy, the way I was happy that time, I was like, no, this guy is doing the most. And I was impressed. I was impressed. I was like, no, I want this. This should be my life. I like this guy. He knows nice things. So we went for that date. We came back. What else did we do that time? We had another date at Hotel Sky. I had actually tailor-made a dress for the dinner. It was all chocolates and roses. It was nice. It was nice. But the whole time I couldn't post him because I felt like, people are going to judge us for this. And I felt like it was just too early. We just wanted to see how it was gonna go. So I was posting myself, like, you know, those posts that show that you're with someone, but then I was just posting myself. And I guess people actually thought that I'm with that ex of mine because he had broken up with me a few days back and I had moved on. Now I'm in Sandton drinking champagne in the sky. So this trip went very well. I was happy to see him. I met his sister. Yeah. Then I went back home. No, our relationship was moving nicely. We were cruising. Then that same year in December, he decided to come home. He came home. I went to introduce him because he had said that he wanted to marry me because there was no time to waste because he knew me. So I went to introduce him to my gogo and my kulu, my gogo and my sekulu. And he also introduced me to his parents. I went to their home. He introduced me to his parents and his sisters and his aunt, his tete. I was like, these things are going very well. So yeah, he went back to SA. We had done introductions. I was like, no, this thing is actually moving in the right direction. Then when I revealed him to the world, people were surprised. Like, people who knew us were surprised that, you guys, so this is the guy you've been posting all this time. When did you guys start dating? Hey, we always knew you guys were dating back in school. I was like, no, we were not even dating. There was nothing like that. There was no sign of us dating. He was just a friend. We were just friends. People said a lot of things. Hey, you guys were deceiving like your partners when you were dating the whole time. We're like, guys, whatever you think really doesn't matter at this point. So fast forward to April. I came back again. I flew in to Sandton to see my lover. And that particular time I came back, I went back home engaged to be married, to be Mrs. Sitole. I loved it. I went back with my ring. I was a happy girl. April, May, June, he came to marry me in June. And now we are, this is our 3rd year in marriage. And if I tell you guys that my husband and I do not quarrel. Like, I know people do quarrel. I know couples, like the things that happen to couples in this day and age, things that I see on social media, on Facebook, people say, hey, my husband does this, my husband does that. I'm like, these things actually happen. I cannot believe it because we have so much respect for each other. We have so much connection. Like, we understand each other so much. Like, I'll give you an example. someone will say, how do I tell my husband to go in bath in the evening? How do I tell my husband to maybe clean up after himself? I don't know why you cannot say that to your husband, because maybe you're not friends, or you don't talk in that manner. But for me, it's so easy for me to like, sure, go and brush your teeth, or don't kiss me without brushing your teeth, or you're not sleeping if you don't bath, just go and bath. It's not difficult for me, because we have that friendship. I don't even say it in a rude way, and he doesn't take it in a rude way. The same applies to me. So I felt like this friendship, this marriage that we built based on our friendship, I think on 5 or 6 years of friendship, these years of friendship really helped us to know each other, to know what this person likes, to know who exactly is this person, because I had the chance to see how he was treating his girlfriends when he was in a relationship. So I actually knew, this guy is a lover. If he's in love, he's in love. If he loves you, he loves you. So I actually knew that no, I'm not in the wrong hands. I'm actually in the right hands. And yeah, up to now, it's really just like that. Like, we enjoy each other's company. I find him funny. He finds me funny. Like, it may not be funny to the whole world, but to us, it will be funny. Because I remember in university, we would just maybe look at someone and then we laugh because something is funny, but to other people it's not funny. But to us, because maybe we talked about something like that before, So up to now, it's the same thing that is happening to us. We still have that friendship that we built over the years. So I would recommend, if you have a friend that likes you, I know like some friends are not, they like you but they're not serious. If they're serious and you feel like you also like them, you could try it, then go for it, because that person understands you, they know you, you know them. It's very important to be with someone you know, because there are no surprises. Like in the marriage, you won't be surprised that this person does this. I didn't know this person doesn't like bathing. I didn't know this person is stingy, things like that. So this is how changing my degree, because I know if I had not changed my degree, I was not going to meet him. Definitely we're not going to meet, and definitely I was not going to date someone who was younger than me in high school, in varsity. He's not younger than me. I think he's about 8 months older than me, but I was not going to date someone who was my junior. Yeah, that's the right word. Who was my junior. So I feel like changing my degree led me to the right career path that I really wanted, and it also led me to finding my life partner, who I would not have found if I had not changed that degree. So you see how it worked out for me, guys. Anytime you want to make a decision and you've prayed about it and you feel that it's right, then go ahead. Don't think about what the world is going to say, or what family or what people are going to say, because ultimately it really won't matter. So yeah, this is my story, guys, of moving from my being bestie to being wifey. Now I'm still a best friend, but I'm now the wifey, and it's so much easy. This marriage is so much easier for me because of that relationship. And I actually think to myself, if I had married that guy that I was compromising for, I think I would be writing stories every day on Facebook with a hidden ID to ask you guys if you guys are going through this and this also, because I don't think it was gonna work, because I was literally just forcing things. So yeah, the other lesson is to not force relationships. Like, don't force it. If it's not working, it's not working. And the other thing is not to, like, when you're about to make decisions like this, or any big decision, do not ask too many people. Do not ask people who you are not sure if they like you or if they don't like you. Because at that point, when this guy broke up with me and my bestie then asked me out, I actually asked someone and they were like, no, the devil, is better than the one you don't know. How do you know that guy is going to treat you good, and oh, just go back. Men are all the same. Men are all the same. So just stay with that guy. Go and beg him to love you. Like, go and apologize. I was like, no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm moving on. Men are not the same. Indeed, men are not the same. Of course, that's the notion that is out there, that men are the same, but men are really not the same. I have seen it, I'm seeing it, and my decisions really led me where I am, and I'm happy with the decisions that I made 3 years ago. And that decision to change my degree that I made. So I hope this story motivated you and encouraged you. And always be prayerful when you make these decisions. Always ask God, always talk to God about it. Don't listen to too many voices. Except maybe you talk to your mom, I don't know, or your sibling who really wants the best for you, but do not ask too many people to help you decide. Just ask the Holy Spirit to help you and to lead you in your decisions. So this is my story, guys, of how I moved from being my husband's bestie to wife. Okay, see you guys in the next story time, and bye for now. If you haven't subscribed, please do like, comment, and share. Thank you. Bye.